All right, we're officially live. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm here with my friends, April and Anjali. Hello, April and Anjali. How are you and where are
Hey,
you?
Hello,
hey, Lisa.
Budapest. We are both in Budapest, um, and we're currently at a castle.
At a castle.
Yes.
At a
Tell me
castle
more.
whose name, it's a castle whose name we cannot pronounce, unfortunately. It starts with the letter V. It
Yes.
is, it is beautiful. It's situated in some beautiful gardens and a water feature. It's incredible.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
awesome.
amazed. I'm gonna slowly walk around so people can get a view who are listening of some of the beautiful architecture of these castles. And this is like a church, as you can see. It looks like it has the 12 apostles on it. Um, and this castle is kind of different because it has like multiple buildings. It's not one big building. Um, and it's over a river, which is pretty cool.
That sounds incredible. So, what brings you to a castle all of a sudden?
To
Well,
be in Budapest to speak at a conference at CraftCon.
Hmm.
And that's going to be on Thursday. We came a couple days earlier so we could enjoy this beautiful city, and that's what we're doing. And so today our quest was to check out a castle and eat gelato. I think we accomplished both.
yes.
That's awesome. That's
And
awesome.
I have
Go ahead.
someone sitting next to me too. So I thought that would be fun.
We have an
Yeah.
additional guest
Yeah. Additional. Um,
representing the past of work. Wow.
yeah. Referencing the past.
Yeah.
So what do we want to talk about around the future of work? One of the things that we're focusing on at this conference is to consider flow, right? We're using a game to have that conversation around flow on delivery, and with that game, there's multiple things that we tap into, which is, I think, um, important around the future of work. You want to share some of those things, Anjali?
Sure. Actually, I love the fact that we can treat uh, value delivery in general like a game of flow. Anyway, this particular game that we're going to play is Kanabi, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of different things uh, that we kind of come out with as we're playing this game. And so the whole point is this group has to work collaboratively. You win together and you lose together. And the whole point is for them to build this set of fireworks using cards. And so it is through non-verbal communication, and actually there's some verbal communication, but it's very specific on what clues they can give each other. And their whole job is to um, deliver value as quickly as possible or create portions of the firework as quickly as possible. So lots of cool learnings from that game, and so we're kind of looking forward to learning in a very fun way.
Yeah.
Well, I'm jealous, and that sounds incredible. um, I think there's something, and just as we're talking about, being in the flow, I think maybe an antecedent to perhaps being in flow is going off the script from your usual environment too, um, and transporting yourself in a completely different environment than your usual workspace, and that can spark some new things, right, in terms of creativity and so on. So it's almost like it's not just a nice to have. Sometimes it feels like it's almost essential for divergent ideas to emerge.
Yes. Yeah, I think
Definitely.
mhm.
Go ahead, Julie.
Yeah, no, I think kind of tapping into creativity, at least for me, and it sounds like for you both as well, is novelty. So just being in a new space and discovering new things kind of triggers certain parts of our brain that I think makes creativity flow a little more easily.
Mm.
And I think for me also flow is doing work with people you enjoy doing work with. And so with this particular engagement, I get to also work with somebody whom I absolutely enjoy spending time with as well. And so we get to do work together. And for me, that also it puts me into a flow state. April, what about you?
Um, Hold on one moment. Yes. Come here, come here. It's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna call, but I will take time for you. Julie, do you have some cash that I can give this woman? She's hungry.
Yeah,
Okay.
where are you though?
All right. I am walking my way towards you because you're still over in the seating spot.
Yeah, I
So
am in
one of
two
the
spots.
things
Yep.
about the future of work is pausing, right? And that's a part of it, is that it's okay to pause to help others. Thank you. Oh, it's okay. Bless you. God bless you. Mm. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's okay. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you. Okay. It's okay.
I have to say that this has been an incredible part of our trip. Um, April is an amazing soul, you all know, and we have run into people who are just down in their life. And she's been able to connect with them in such a meaningful way. when we talk about the future of work, that care and compassion can be a big part of it, not only for the people that we work with, but to see anybody, anyone around us.
It's almost like that's where it starts, right, Anjali? When we think about what we bring to our work spaces and the behaviors that we personify, that's it's almost like a reflection of also what happens in society, right? Um,
Totally, totally. But those of us who engage in knowledge work, I think that we are able to earn income that easily pays our bills. And in fact, we have often some discretionary income to do some of the things like April and I are doing here in another country. But then there are people who literally cannot have they don't know where the next meal is come from. And when we open our eyes to realize that, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it really makes us question, everything that we're doing. It really makes us like pause to we argue over such uh, mundane things. We worry about such mundane things. And Hamsa, you are in India, right? So you see this much more than we do in the United States.
well, yeah, I think there's definitely various segregations in societies, and then there's a huge difference between the haves and the have-nots, and then that's for sure. Um, and just going back to again to your point, Anjali, about we're definitely privileged in terms of knowledge work and the kind of work that we do, and being able to earn a livelihood and live comfortably and more with the kind of work that we do. But again, it goes back to this idea of as human beings, there's sometimes people in that, again, going back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, there's people still at very different levels of that journey, right? In terms of what's meaningful to them right now. For some people, it might be, oh, I want, to go more towards doing work because it's a joy, it's a calling, and it's part of my life's purpose, and then just broader elements like that. But for others, it's very much more about security and then just being able to survive day to day, and that's what
Yeah.
or that's what the value of engaging in work or engaging in work for monetary purposes. That's what that represents. So what just happened is such a realistic personification of where we are in terms of like differences and how much more it is important to like go out there and democratize the privileges, so to speak,
Yes.
among
Yeah.
One of the things that is stark in many places when you travel is, especially for the immigrant, like opportunities are not the same for employment. Um, and how do we change that? Also, to piggyback on what you're saying, and yes, and that I think the future of work is when no one has to live check to check.
Yeah.
Mm.
No one should experience
Amen.
that scarcity of where that last meal is going to come from. Yeah.
Yeah, and what going, I think the what we're talking about is so much more deeper of a discussion than just about workplaces or organizations. Of course, organizations and workplaces have such an outsized impact on society, there's so many other forces that are in this mix to actually create that systemic change that we really want. So what can we do outside of the work that we do day in and day out to affect changes that actually inch us closer towards that future that we're talking about, where where we don't have to work for a livelihood. I think we've been talking about this for a while now, but I think the problems are so much more amplified when you live it, like what just happened, when you see the distress, when you see the pain, and then when you see people experiencing that, and that makes us want to ramp it up in terms of what kind of stances can we be taking, or little actions we can be taking as individuals outside of our workplaces to go out there and do what we can in our scope.
Yeah. Because sometimes people don't even know. Like, there's people who may work in the companies that you work in, and experiencing hardships, or living in their car or things like that. And it's unknown.
Yeah. I think as individuals, we can slow down a little bit to just observe what's going on with people around us. I think for many of us who are a little bit, maybe have the chance to live a little bit higher up in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I think we have an open heart to be able to support our fellow brothers and sisters. But often we are in such a hurry, either moving too fast in the world or distracted with our phones. And I'm laughing to say this because I'm right now looking at my phone, live streaming this. But how often do I pick up my phone to check my email and stuff without just looking around and paying attention and noticing the people around me and what's happening in their lives, whether it is on the streets or whether it is somebody whom I'm working with and what's going on in their world. And sometimes just listening or a little gesture goes such an incredible long way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the look, like this is the third human that April has connected with in that way in these last 3 days. I have a big heart, but not as big a heart as April in terms of just being able to see the people, and you should have seen the look on each one's face. The gratitude was not for the money that we put in their little bin at all. The gratitude was for being seen. For being seen, they just wanted to touch another human being. It's like been incredible. So we all have that. We don't even have to open our wallets. We can just look at somebody, let them be seen, touch them. That's what people are craving for. And in terms of our organizations, I think we can do a lot more. I, for one, believe that I think businesses can be a force for good. And over the last couple of decades, many of our businesses have made incredible profits. So maybe they need to slow down a little bit too, to see what they can do to make not anybody live on the last two rungs of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Can we make everybody be able to actually tap into the higher level so we can all have flow? When we go back to this topic that we were talking about in the beginning, we cannot achieve flow when we are just there trying to survive. And so, I mean, I think this brings us back to, like, I'm sorry to just go on and on, but this what just happened has been like, it's going to be etched in my brain forever.
One of the things about human touch is that I've noticed that people need it. I've had people, where I offered just a hug to someone and they immediately broke down in tears. It was showing that it was something that they needed. The humans need to. What surprises people is that even if someone is experiencing homelessness, is that they still crave human touch. Could you imagine a world where you're never touched, or a world where no one ever says your name?
Yeah, and then I think that accentuates even more the viability of the whole virtualization of everything, not just work, right? But
Yeah.
let's um, this full mainstream effect of remote work, remote everything. Um, humanless transactions. You know, touchless transactions. So I think maybe there's that maybe that has a dystopian future as well.
Mhm.
Thinking again, going back to the roots of what humans are actually made of, which is we require it's not just a nice to have, but tactile comfort and the touch and the power of touch, like that has
Mhm.
benefits in and of itself, and that's something we can replicate in the work as well. So
Yeah.
I think again that's where the intentionality comes around. Like, how are we designing technology and how again, accessibility to tech, but also like with intentionality about it's not just virtual everything, but also designing it around the human experience versus like replacing the human experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. uh, when you said intentionality, absolutely intentionality. We have learned so much, and a lot we've learned in the last year. So imagine like last year when we couldn't really connect with, or uh, maybe we were able to touch members of our immediate family, but there were people out there who didn't even have that because we were so isolated from each other. And for me it had a very negative impact on my own mental health last year, not being able to be in the physical presence of more people that I cared about. And I'm sure that that has had an impact on others as well. So you are right that when we design the future of work, and we recognize that, hey, what technology enables us to be able to do, which is wonderful, we can't forget what humans enable us to do, which
Mm.
cannot be replicated by any technology.
Yeah. I don't think the future of work is to eliminate people.
Mhm. Exactly. Exactly. It's like, how can we use technology to augment and enhance the experience
Hmm.
and help us reach self-actualization in terms, where it sounds very conceptual, but I'm not sure what that looks like. That's a journey we have to go on in terms of exploration. Um, but how can technology be a source for good, be that source for access, be a source for equity, and be a source for democracy? Um, yeah, that's one of my big takeaways from today, in addition to several others. That's for sure. Um,
Yeah.
I think, well,
Hmm.
April's screen seems to be stuck right now, so I'm not sure if you can still hear us, April.
Oh,
But
I don't even know where she is because we're kind of roaming this area each individually. So she might be in a dead zone.
oh, there's two Aprils
Um,
now.
Oh,
there's two Aprils. She relocated.
we
That's
don't
always
need both. We don't need both. Yeah, I was in a dead zone for a moment. Apologies. I'll stop walking around. Um, I don't know what I missed while I was away, but I don't know. I think this was the most emotional live stream that we've ever done. Uh, and
Yeah, I think I'm pretty speechless. I think it was such a privilege to witness what we just witnessed, and I think there's many lessons and takeaways we can draw from that moment that you shared with that stranger, and then just the rawness of what just happened and what just transpired. I think it's heartwarming for you to share that gesture with us. And then the fact that we just happened to be live when it happened could not have been better timed.
Yeah. And I don't know if,
Well, following
I
happens
hope
very
that
often.
everybody would stop as well to help. But I don't know if everyone is like, oh, I'm going live. Move away. There was no move away. It's like, okay, let's help.
Yeah.
Right.
Anjali, were you saying something?
No, I said when you follow April and go live, you're apt to see something like that happen. It's not a rarity. You can catch it pretty often.
Oh, wow.
April, I think.
But I hope that we can catch it from more of us.
Absolutely. I think we should go on more lives from that are different from our usual like live locations. Live out the future, in reality as we speak about those topics, right?
All right. Well, when you finally leave India, Canada's next door to me, so I'll be able to do that. But I plan on going to India as well too, so hopefully I get there before you leave, maybe.
That's great. That's definitely on. Let's just schedule that and then let's make it happen. So everybody, please stay tuned for international lives.
we just travel the world because we are a global global community. And one of the things I say when we think like the future work is now, so it's practice these things now.
Yeah.
And when I say, oh, that future I hope for is a future I hope that it is the standard, it is the norm. And that's what I mean by that. It's the norm where everyone doesn't live check by check. It's the norm where everyone receives human touch, It's the norm. For all those things that we have been speaking about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's a great place to draw us to a close today. Thank you so much, Anjali and April, for tuning in live from Budapest, Hungary. It was from a castle. Joining us for this conversation and for sharing that moment with us today. I think this was the most beautiful live in the history of Future of Work 24-hour lives. And so everybody watching us, please, we're currently streaming live from LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, as well as Twitter. So please follow us and continue to keep an eye out for the content that we post. We go live every week. And having said that, if you're interested in a live, just reach out to us on Future of Work anywhere, whether you want to comment, email, if you know anyone personally in the community, just reach out to us and we'll be fine. So I hope everybody has a great rest of your Tuesday and your week. And thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much, Anjali and April, for joining us as well.
Thank you, Hamsa.
Thank you.
Thank you.